when trying to keep plant-based kefir going indefinitely, these are the key tips. So, one, you're going to want to use the right milk. Protein and nitrogen are very important. That's why milk kefir is really good. A lot of protein. Hemp seed, blanched almonds, and probably pistachios have the highest protein, especially hemp. Put a little water in it, grind it, you'll have the milk, and you can use that. That's probably going to be your best bet for plant-based going indefinitely. You don't want to use anything with emulsifiers, additives. So again, if you can buy the nuts and seeds, blend it, that's the best. Here it says you need a refresh occasionally. The best video I found was around 6 weeks. If you keep it going, and other videos check out. So every 6 weeks, maybe refreshing milk, but we're going indefinite here in plant-based, not dairy-based. You always want, so for half a cup of hemp milk, for instance, you want half a cup of water to dilute it, because a lot of the seeds or nuts, they can really block the oxygen given the fat content or the carbon, and that's not going to be good at letting the grains feed, right? If they're blocked, not good. So you want to dilute it. We talked about this being protein. You do want sugars and other nutrients. Instead of doing kind of cane sugar, which is what everyone does, organic cane sugar, you want to do organic blackstrap molasses. It's got a lot of sugars, different types of sugars. We can go here, as well as the minerals and nutrients. So that is probably the best. And you can probably do 1 gram per cup of kefir. And then you want a pinch of sea salt. Usually it's going to be, for 1 cup, it's going to be probably 1/16 of a teaspoon. Preferably that Celtic sea salt that everyone's using. That's going to be your best bet for a lot of other nutrients. And that's going to be it. Once you do that, you do the kefir process, you're good to go. Here's a little bit of here's what typical milks have in terms of sodium, just to give you an example why it's going to be 1/16 of a teaspoon. Now, things to keep in mind: if you use milk kefir for plant-based milk kefir, that's your best bet. You do not want to use water kefir, because water kefirs are strictly for sugars. They love sugars. They don't do that well with much else. So they will dominate in yeast, and you can do it. But there's other videos that have done it, but you're going to get a very sweet taste, and it's not, that pH isn't going to drop as low. And riskier, not going to ferment as much, not as much probiotic benefit, so you want to avoid water kefir grains when doing plant-based milk kefir. And this just explains why. So, can you do things like a lot of soluble fiber, like psyllium husk, or even beans, like you cook beans, blend them? Maybe great from a protein soluble fiber standpoint for beans and psyllium husk. Not great for fermenting because they're really starchy, like sticky, and almost like the grains can't get through. And so this blocks the grains from getting nutrients. And yes, there's some very, very minor sugars, but usually it's not a good bet. Put your thickeners afterwards, not before. Even though there's nutrients, etc. And this is again with psyllium husk, just explaining why it's actually not that great, because it traps CO2, oxygen, diffusion, can't get through it right. And that's your best bet. So, in summary, plant-based milk kefir, going indefinitely, is how you do it.